After Hurricane Ida, we broke the news about the horrifying conditions at an Independence warehouse full of more than 800 evacuated nursing home residents.
Well, last night we told you 12 of those residents had died. Well, 3 more deaths overnight brings the total to 15. However, only 5 of those deaths have been directly tied to the storm and the evacuation. Coroners will have to determine if the deaths are storm-related. And again, the latest deaths have not been classified as storm-related at this time.
And as for the families of the rest of the people inside that warehouse, they are still trying to bring their loved ones home.
Jade Cunningham spoke with a man in Wagaman who says his mother-in-law is finally back home after a month-long nightmare.
The shocking situation that unfolded at the Independence warehouse hits close to home for Kevin Belil. His mother-in-law was one of the 800 people who sheltered there for the storm.
So initially we got a phone call a couple days out saying that they were evacuating the residents of Maisonneville and Harvey to a center up in Independence, Louisiana. I had assumed that if they took that much preparation ahead of time to evacuate, then they were doing that everything on the other end would be handled appropriately.
But as he watched our report showing the state evacuating hundreds from that building, he became concerned. He feared his mother-in-law was there and spent days trying to find her. Finally, he learned she was taken from that warehouse to the mega shelter in Alexandria. But a week later, another call came saying she had been moved again, this time to Natchitoches.
At some point, you're like, okay, the initial facility did something irresponsible, but then the way that they're being transferred, you're looking at the state's not doing any better of a job. So then you start getting concerned about the whole process.
Belil was fed up. He was ready for his mother-in-law to come home, but hit another hurdle, a $2,100 ambulance fee to drive her from the shelter to the West Bank.
And my question at that point was like, why is the state paying to move her out of the area and I got to take out of pocket and move it back? But that all turned out to be a miscommunication.
Transportation ended up being free. Still, the ordeal has been a roller coaster of emotions.
They need to revamp the whole system. They have to have, like, the communication needs to be #1 priority.
And with his mother-in-law now back in good hands, he can breathe a bit of relief, but says he will never forget what his family and so many others have had to go through. Jade Cunningham, Eyewitness News.
Belil says he's still trying to get information about treating his mother-in-law received at those state-run shelters. In terms of the 7 nursing homes that evacuated their residents to the Independence warehouse, the state health department took away their licenses and shut them down. Their Medicaid provider agreements have also since been terminated.